it's Dr. Dale here. I'm going to talk a little bit about clinical experience in F200, and you can see that I'm a big fan of Saturday Night Live from the catchphrase, "What's up with that?" So we've got F200 clinical experience, what's up with that, and we're going to move through some of the slides. And here, kind of a content, we're going to cover all of these. Let's see, 14 topics. And you can watch this and take notes as many times as you need. And I'm going to put out some written material, but this is just to give you more valuable information, maybe reduce some anxiety. We've had hundreds and hundreds of people get through clinical experience and do it successfully and learn a lot in the School of Education. And I know you're going to be able to do that too. So let's get going here. Okay, so the purpose of clinical experience is that all professions, whether it's education or medicine, engineering, law, they use clinical experience of going out while you're taking classes, while you're taking instruction, and working with professionals, the best professionals, to actually experience the job, to learn from a practicing expert, a practicing professional. And schools of education are doing that, and we've changed the way we're doing it to make it more useful, more valuable, and help you become a better teacher. I'm later on going to give you an article about clinical experience to read in a future module. And by the way, this is off the topic a minute, just because that's why I put it in green. It says use the module tab in Canvas to navigate instruction and assessment. So when the week opens and I put the new module out for you, go to module. Don't try and read the pages and don't try to answer the assignments. Go to module and click the module. In fact, I'm going to put the link on the homepage also. But if you start with modules, it will take you through the steps that you need in order to be able to do the assessment. So online F200 runs on the module concept, and that's what you need to click. Also, going on into the white type again, clinical experience is required for IUS to be nationally accredited, state accredited, and nationally accredited as a higher institution. So, and by being accredited, that means that you can get a teaching license. And your first teaching license will be an Indiana license, but an Indiana license is accepted by many other states. Okay, so the amount of clinical experience in F200, 30 hours of clinical experience. That's been on the books for a long, long time in the School of Education, and it works. What we're going to do is divide the 30 minutes into 2 sessions. Each session will be 15 hours. 15 hours completed in an elementary school, in a secondary school, that's the next line, in a secondary school, and a secondary school is a middle school or a high school. And some are junior high schools in combination. For instance, Borden, Indiana has a junior high school in one building, a junior and senior high school in one building. So it's in a high school, a middle school, or a combination of that in one school, and then the other 15 hours is done in an elementary school. All right, so let's take a look at the future. 30 hours now, but this is what's coming for you. This is in secondary education, and I'm most familiar with that. I'm the coordinator of secondary education. But you can see what happens with the hours of clinical experience. You're doing 30 now. Next, if you get into the School of Education in secondary, in your first pedagogy course, your first School of Education course after F200, you'll be spending 35 hours, and you'll be doing that in one middle school. And the middle school will be one of the 3 New Albany, Floyd County middle schools. That's again a requirement. So 35 hours in either Hazelwood, Scribner, or Highland Hills. That's in the first School of Education course after F200. Block 1. Block 2, the hours go up, 45 hours. If you're going to one high school, we ask you which high school you want to go to, and we're trying to work that out with you. We don't want you to go to a high school where you were a student, but we do take your opinion. So now you had 30 in F200, 35 in Block 1, 45 in Block 2. That's adding up. And then you hit clinical practice, which used to be called student teaching, but it's now called clinical practice. 400 hours. 400 hours? Sure. You're there 10 weeks, and let's just say 8 hours a day. Some days will be more, might be a 7-hour day sometimes, but let's just take 8 hours a day for 10 weeks. That's 400 hours. So a lot of clinical experience to become a professional educator. The other reason we're doing clinical experience this way is for diversity. Diversity is a mandate to be nationally accredited as an institution of higher education that can give licenses or help you get your teaching license. And that's for the entire state of Indiana, not just for Southern Indiana or not just for Central Indiana. Your teaching license will allow you to teach throughout Indiana, and Indiana is a diverse state. And in other states that accept the Indiana license, there'll be even more diversity. And Kentucky can be added to your teaching license. So all future teachers from an accredited institution must be prepared for and willing to advance diversity in the classroom. Diversity in the classroom is a strength for education and for learning. Length of the 2 sessions. I think I mentioned this. Secondary is going to be for 15 hours, and the secondary 15 can't just be, okay, I'm going to go 2 days. I go 8 hours this day and 7 hours that day. No. It has to be spread over a minimum of 4 weeks and a maximum of 5 weeks. So you can see that if you go 4 weeks, you're going to need about, let's see, 4 weeks, 4 into 15, about 3, almost 4 hours a week. We'll take it for you, and if you're doing 5 weeks, it's a little bit less each day. But what we usually get is you go 1 day a week for about 3, 4, or 5 hours, depending how to spread it out and to get your 15 in. The elementary must cover 15, and it's not 405 weeks. It's 4 days, 5 weeks. It's the same thing. It needs to be spread out over a minimum of 4 weeks, your 15 hours, and that's your choice of which day you want to go. You'll be telling me. I'll be taking care of the arrangements. Our School of Placement and Licensing will find a place for you to go. But it's not just 1 or 2 days. It's spread out over 4 to 5 weeks. Okay. While you're out in clinical experience on the 2 sessions, remember there's an elementary session and a secondary session. While you're out there, during those 15 hours, you're going to complete a clinical experience log. And what that is descriptive writing. You're going to describe what you saw, what you did, what the students were doing. You're descriptive, and it's like, I'm ignorant of the topic. I wasn't there with you, so you have to inform the ignorance in me, and you tell me, and you describe what you were doing. And then the second part of the log is where you reflect on what you were thinking and what you were feeling during that clinical experience. It's all professionals do that. They write descriptively about what they're doing professionally, and then they reflect on it. Did it work? Should I change it this way? What can I do? How did it help the students? So on and so forth. That's what all professionals do. You're going to send those 3 logs in elementary, 3 logs in secondary to me, and that'll be done automatically as you'll complete those logs with the link that I gave you. So 3 logs for secondary, 3 logs for elementary. Next, to F200 online, that's you all. Okay. We do have a face-to-face class, you may be watching this, but for the online class, you are going to complete secondary first. You're going to complete 15 hours of secondary as your first session, and those clinical hours need to be completed between February 1st and March 3rd. So plenty of time to do that and cover those 4 to 5 weeks. When the secondary is finished, then you're going to do elementary, and that's from, as you can see on the screen, March the 3rd to April 14th. And what you're going to do there is you're all going to go to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School in Jefferson County Public School System. And we've had many students there. I've been there and visited many times myself. It's a great school. It's a magnet school. I'll tell you more about that later. But they're looking forward to you coming and helping with their students. Oh, here it is. I said I would say more about that in a minute. It's a Jefferson County public school. It's a magnet school. It's a magnet school for gifted and talented, and I think performing arts. I'm not sure. So what you ought to do is get online and look up Jefferson County schools, and then particularly the Martin Luther King Elementary School, and look at their website and see what they've got to say. It's a fantastic school. Very dedicated teachers. A situation where the opportunity is there to help so many students and families. So I'll give you more directions on that as we get closer to session 2. You know it's coming up around March the 3rd to April 24th. I'll send you maps. I'll send you another video about the school. I can answer questions. So I'll be out there off and on. So don't worry, that's coming up March the 3rd. Just that everybody's going to go there. 25 of you in this course. All 25 of you will be there. Maybe you can ride share. Maybe you'll run into each other, bump elbows in the hallway. But you'll all experience that diverse setting of Dr. Martin Luther King Elementary School. In secondary school, which is going to be your first session, you're going to list 3 high schools or middle schools that you would like to go to for clinical experience. I will send you the link out this week. and you can complete that. It'll come right straight to me. Then the IUS School of Education Placement Office will secure one of those 3 choices. Okay, you are not to contact any secondary schools at this point to say, can I come and do clinical experience there? No, we do that. You put down your 3, and the School of Placement will call the professionals there to explain the program and get a school for you to do in secondary education. So don't you contact the schools, please. All right, so F200 has a couple of other assignments that go into the clinical experience. You have the session 1 of 15 hours, 3 clinical logs. Have session 2, 15 hours, 3 clinical logs. So you got those assignments. The other 2 assignments are that you're going to complete a teacher interview. It can be any teacher, but it can't be a relative. Well, it can't be immediate family members. If it's an aunt, maybe we'll talk about that. But I want it to be somebody that you think was an excellent teacher, and you're going to go back and interview them now as a pre-teaching candidate. So that's going to be one of the other assignments. And the other assignment is a self-assessment where you evaluate yourself and how you're doing a clinical experience. So those are 2 other assignments. We'll get to those later. Not right now, later. Okay, so here's what you can do. People say, well, what am I going to do in clinical experience? Well, there's a lot of things you can do. It depends upon the teacher, but this list is going to go out to the teachers, and is already going out to the teachers at Martin Luther King Elementary, because the face-to-face F200 class is going to go there first. So they're well aware of this. So what can you do? Well, you can work with individual students, and you see the bullet points. The 3rd bullet point is that you can assist the student with academic work, working one-on-one. The next bullet point, the candidate may reteach concepts presented in the teacher's lesson to an individual student. Maybe they were absent. Maybe they need it again. So, and then the 4th one is, with teacher permission, the candidate may teach new content to an individual student. That's one student, not the class, one student and the teacher, the supervising teacher, is called the P12 clinical educator, or just clinical educator. What else can you do? Well, the teacher may say, go work with this small group of students. So you're going to assist the students with academic work. You may reinforce things that were presented by the teacher, but individual and small group. We can go on. All right, you can. We hope you get some diversity work in. You can work with students who have an IEP and are in the special education program, students of minority racial groups, students of minority ethnic groups, students who have a primary language other than English, new English learners, students who are affected by poverty or social economic conditions. We hope you get that chance, and the teachers know this. This is on the list that was sent to teachers. Also sent to teachers on what you can do. You can assign the candidate, that's you, assign the candidate to move through the room and remind and help students to stay on task. Just another professional. You're a pre-professional in the classroom helping this teacher, and a purpose of both the teacher, who's the professional, and you as the pre-professional is for the students to learn. So if you can help the students learn by circulating through the room and helping keep students be on task, that's great. You can also aid in the preparation and distribution of instructional materials. That's a little clerical business. Clerical work is appropriate. You can read to the students and read aloud. You can assist with culture enrichment. That's what you can do, a lot. You're not just going to be watching. Okay, so now what you can't do. Big yellow letters and the pinkish purple. You cannot work with any permanent records folders or database of electronic records, ever. You can't teach any new concepts as a pre-professional. You cannot inflict any disciplinary consequences or punishments. You'll never be asked to do that at these schools, but you can't do it. You're not to confer with parents in reference to the students unless it's under the direct guidance of the cooperating teacher, and we suggest that they don't do that, so you're not going to be working with parents. Supervise this. You cannot supervise the students in the room in the absence of the classroom teacher. They know that. You can't do that. So we're going to wrap this up. So the survey form for putting down your 3 secondary schools, I'm going to send it to you in an email. So watch for the email from me. It'll be out this week, and you can get it back in as quickly as you can, because it's first come, first served. The early bird gets the worm. There might be a lot of people requesting the same school you want as #1 choice, so get them in early. All right, JCPS Registration System. JCP is so large that they have an online registration system that's complicated. I used to be able to help walk the students through, and I can't anymore. It's got to be too complicated because I don't use it on a regular basis. But we have someone who does use it on a regular basis. All 25 of you have to register in JCPS. So I want to make it easy as possible. If you can possibly be Monday at 3 o'clock on January 23rd in the computer lab in Hillside Hall, Nicole Owens-Wilson in our placement office will be there and tell you exactly what to do, walk you through every step of this complicated system, and get you registered for JCPS. And you need to bring a debit or a credit card because the fee is $12. That's charged by JCPS, not by IUS. So be there if you can at 3 o'clock on January 23rd. If you can't make 3 o'clock, there'll be a second session for her at 4 o'clock, which is our face-to-face class, but we can squeeze another 1 or 2 of you in to join the 25 that are in the face-to-face class. So that's an option, but try to be there at 3. I don't know exactly how many computers are in there, but I think it's about 30. Okay, the third option you have is that you can make an appointment with Nicole Owens-Wilson, and her address is right there, her email address, and she will set up a way to help you register individually. But to save her hours and hours of time, if you can get to one of these 2 sessions as a volunteer to come in and do that, that's going to help her. It's going to help you because she can do it right. You can do it right there on the computers. I'll be in the room, but I'm not going to be the one teaching you how to do it. It will be Nicole doing that. Try to come to that session on the 23rd. I know some of you won't be able to. That's all right. She knows that and she expects that, but we want to keep the number down as far as we can. You'll contact her if you can't come to that open session. Now, this is something I'm adding this year. I've never done this, and well, I think it's going to help perhaps. So every Wednesday, I'm going to be available in office hours for F200 help sessions on Wednesday afternoons. Now, I'll do other times by appointment, but these you'll know is there. And so on Wednesday from 1 to 2, I'm going to be in that computer lab in case you want to chat. So I will be in that computer lab, Hillside Hall 105 from 1 to 2. I will have the canvas for our course set to chat, and I will see if you come into there. It will say, just came in, and you can ask me a question. We can type back and forth. Also, you can come in and see me person to person in the computer lab. Also, the third way is we can communicate video bridge, and that's a real simple thing with IU. They've got it down to just easy to do. I can give you more information on that later, but I'll be in the computer lab 1 to 2 every Wednesday unless something comes up. Following that, I'm going to move down to room 204, which is our smallest classroom in the Hillside Hall, 204, just down the hall, and I'm going to be there from 2:30 to 3:30 every Wednesday. So the same kind of thing. You can reach me there from 2:30 to 3:30, either in person, face-to-face, or on that chat thing, or the video bridge. But there's help out there that I'm willing to help you. I want you to learn. I want you to be a professional, and I want you teacher, and I want you to be someone who really helps students learn. All right, so here's what we've covered. There it is again. And I know I've gone pretty quickly, but you can play this again. You can pause it. You can rewind it. You can listen to it again. So take the time, and I hope this calms down the fears and the anxiety. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So we're going to wrap it up, and that's all, folks. Hope to see you soon, either online or on chat or in a video or in the classroom. Okay, let's see if I can turn this off.